Texas flipped Florida State's most important commitment, and just like that, the Longhorns, they have a top 5 recruiting class, but they are not done. More to come, and in this video, I got Justin Wells from Inside Texas. He's going to take us behind the scenes of the latest major recruiting developments in Austin. But first, Texas fans, do me a favor right now. Hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel, the best recruiting channel on all of YouTube, and we're going to continue to talk Texas recruiting all season long, so jump on board and hit subscribe. All right. Let's bring in Justin Wells, 4-star defensive lineman from Florida. Myron Charles flips major position in need. Why did it go down the way that it did on Saturday, and what's Texas getting in Myron Charles?
Yeah, so as soon as he committed to Florida State in the summer, Texas was not backing off. If anything, they felt like, this just makes it a little bit more interesting. Texas needs 4 D linemen in the 2025 cycle. They need to restock that cupboard, and Myron Charles was out of Port Charlotte, one of the top on that board. They kept recruiting him. And then Florida State didn't look pretty good the first 2 weeks, but Texas kept recruiting. And so this flip was already kind of in the works already. We had reported about it earlier in the week. We didn't know exactly when or if it was going to happen, but hey, I think it was kind of strategic that they went ahead and did it right after that big win over Michigan in the Big House. I think they wanted some of that, gather some of that momentum and some of that good fortune from Saturday, and it was just a double down. It was, you beat a top 10 team on the road and that defending national champion, then you flip a four-star from Florida. Myron Charles in Texas makes a lot of sense. He's going to play early. He joins Josiah Sharma, who they flipped from Oregon less than 2 months ago. They got 2 more spots open. They got 2 more guys that they're eyeballing. They're going to try to maybe flip another 1 or 2. So D-line recruiting is starting to pick back up for Texas in 2025.
Speaking of Florida State spiraling, does Texas still have its eyes on Javion Hilson, the one-time Bama commitment, now with FSU? He's a big-bodied edge that is highly valued. Does Texas have a shot at flipping him?
Yeah, they still talk. They're still having conversations. I think Hilson still having those conversations with a lot of programs. This is one of those things where I think coaches smell blood in the water, and with FSU not having the best ideal start for 2024, Hilson's a guy that the top ranked guys. These are where college coaches go and attack. Right. When they smell blood in a program, they go straight for those type of players. And Hilson is a difference maker. He is a tremendous edge rusher. And so they're going to still try to push for him. They've got Smith Arogbo, On3's number 2 edge in the country. They've got Lance Jackson, potential 5-star edge out of Pleasant Grove. They'd love to add a Hilson. He would be great for the class. I'm not sure how hard they're pushing, but they're still having conversations, and I think Hilson's listening.
All right. So how are you feeling now about 5-star athlete Michael Terry III? I know all the picks went in last week for him to Texas, but this weekend he showed up in Lincoln, Nebraska, witnessed that big win over the CU Buffs and Coach Prime, had a lot of great things to say, but where does the Longhorns still stand?
Yeah, I think that Nebraska game was big. I think that makes it a lot more interesting. Because Nebraska has really done a great job recruiting him. Matt Rule, when you send an entire staff to San Antonio to see a player, you're making him feel important, and that's how you recruit. It's about relationships and making them see that vision you see in them. And so I think what it does is it makes it more interesting. Friday night during Michael Terry's game, of course, he's sporting the Texas Longhorn gloves, and listen, the Horns are still, I wouldn't say the leader in that recruitment, but they are definitely the one I think other teams are chasing. But with Nebraska's big win, I mean, they absolutely humbled Colorado and Shadur Sanders. I think that makes it interesting. I think that makes this recruitment a little bit more something we're going to have to pay closer attention to. I still think he ends up at Texas. I still think Nebraska is going to continue to push and selling him on that primary wide receiver spot. Don't sleep on Matt Rule. They don't want to let that guy go. They want to get that guy as much as possible. But I also think on the other side, Michael Terry is watching Texas, and one of the most dominant performances and teams we've seen from that bunch and that program in probably a decade.
Yeah, and you said it. Nebraska had a humbling win over Colorado, a 4-win program last year. But Texas, I mean, they went out and they humbled the reigning national champion Michigan Wolverines. What has been the general recruit reaction to Texas beating Michigan?
wow. Like a lot of these guys I talked to beforehand thought Texas was probably going to win, and the scores and the predictions were relatively low. I don't think they expected Texas to go up there and spank them like a stepchild. I really don't. Only a few people, I think Rick Neuheisel, one of the college football analysts, kind of predicted that. But guys, Javion Osborne, the number one running back in the country for 2026 out of Forney, Texas, he was there. We were literally texting during the game. And his thoughts were, I love what Texas is doing. I love the speed. This is a mismatch. The Horns had such a great game plan. Talked to Diabell, the quarterback, 5-star quarterback out of Florida, committed to Texas. He said Sark was in his bag. He kind of expected what he saw. He said, look, when you give Sark all those guys, he's going to score points, and that's what he does. James Simon, running back commit out of Calvary Baptist in Shreveport, who I went to go see on Friday, he predicted 42-28, and he said, yeah, I expected Texas to come out and beat him. I think he told me the score he had was a little too high. He said, yeah, I shouldn't have put Michigan at 28, but that was my fault. And so John Turntine, one of the top offensive tackles in the country for 2026, told our Charlie Williams, yeah, that was actually what he expected to see, and that he was thoroughly impressed. And Texas continues to push the envelope for that top tackle in the state of Texas. I think the Horns have a ginormous lead there. And so, Jamie French, talked to him a little bit, and he said that's exactly what a wide receiver wants to see when they watch a game on Saturday. The balance, the play calling, the opportunities. Texas it's almost like Sark is opening up a ton of toys on Christmas morning, and you have so many options. You almost don't know what you're so excited. You don't want to miss one, but you want to play with this one, but you don't want to neglect that one, but you want to make sure talk about having a great problem. That Texas offense with Quinn Ewers and that offensive line, the way they got to push against that defensive front for Michigan that I feel like might be one of the best in the country. This 2024 Texas Longhorn team is just scratching the surface.
You can feel it. You can feel recruiting. It is heating up. Texas fans, right now, Sark's taking who he wants. Who do you want? Let us know. Comment section below. Who's the big flip that's still out there that you want on this commit list? Let us know. Comment section below. Well, you've made it to the end of today's video, but there's hundreds more videos on the On3 Recruits channel for you to check out. And also, while you're here, hit subscribe.